Hi everyone, my name is Vasudha. Welcome to my channel. Well, the first month of the new year is over, and how time flies. It just seemed like yesterday when the new year had begun, and now we are at the end of the first month, and the new month is about to begin. And in just with a blink of an eye, these 4 weeks have passed by. I'm sure many of us had made some resolutions at the beginning of the new year or at the end of the last year. And in today's video, I'm going to discuss how to stick to your resolutions. So many a times we fall out of the resolutions that we make, and in all the enthusiasm and all the excitement that we try and think that new year means new beginnings and new habits, but as the year begins and it starts moving, gradually we tend to forget. So in this video, I will offer some suggestions about how we can stay on track with our resolutions. So let's dive in. So first and foremost is that we need to be realistic with our resolutions. Oftentimes we make a whole bunch of resolutions and list them down. I want to change this, and I want to adopt this habit and that habit. And ultimately we feel overwhelmed with it. So make realistic resolutions. That's number one. In case you have like a long list of resolutions, just revisit them and bring it down to just 2 or 3 doable resolutions. The next suggestion is that prioritize your resolutions. It's very important to know which resolution is most important for you at this point in time. So for example, you are probably thinking of losing weight, you are probably thinking of a career growth, and you may also be thinking about traveling. So which one of these is number one priority for you right now? You must start with that. And you know that in the pandemic, traveling is not on the cards. For some more time, we may have to be locked down in our own cities, in our own places. So traveling can be put at number 3 and career growth can be number 1. Or if you have serious health concerns, then you can put your weight loss as number 1 priority. So prioritizing is very important because that gives you a good head start. Another suggestion is to have clarity of thought. So when you say that you want to lose weight, you must be very clear in your mind how much inches, how much kilos you are planning to lose. Just by saying that you want to lose weight and that's your resolution, it's not going to put any action to your thought. But once you have a very clear understanding that I want to lose so many kilos, or I want to read say 50 books in a year, then you will have a clear understanding about your goal and you will be able to make a more actionable plan also. So clarity of thought is very important rather than having just loose open-ended goals. The next suggestion is that you must break down your goals. So let's say your goal is to read 50 books a year. So that would mean 4 books in a month approximately, somewhere around that. So now you have a better understanding that since your goal is fixed, you have clarity about your target. Now you can break it down and you can divide it per month. Then you can further break it down to 1 book a week. So this way you will now be crystal clear that what your target is and what's your plan of action. My next suggestion is not to rush. So now even if you have some idea in mind about how to proceed with implementing your resolutions, I would still suggest that don't be too harsh on yourself. If you've not read 1 book a week, if you are not able to complete your small targets, it's absolutely fine. I mean, just be a little easy on yourself. And we are humans. Sometimes new things come up and we have to reprioritize our goals as well. So there's no need to rush. And also if you rush, you are not going to enjoy the whole process. So the real fun lies in the journey. There may be hiccups, there may be some breakdowns, there may be some obstacles. Someday you are really good and you might read your 1 book in 3 days, and sometimes it may take up to 10 days. So you can allow yourself for a little bumpy ride also if it happens. It's good if you can stick to your target, but don't be too harsh on yourself. Another suggestion is that you might want to also keep a habit tracker. So keep a goal or a resolution tracker. It could be in a journal. You can stick it up somewhere where it is more visible, so you can track your habits and track your resolutions on a more regular basis. It could be a daily tracker, weekly tracker, fortnightly or monthly. It's all up to you how you want to track your habits, and also depends on your resolutions in that sense. So keeping a habit tracker or a goal tracker will be useful in reminding you of the resolutions that you have set out for yourself. And going forward with the previous suggestion, the next suggestion is to make a comparison chart. It's always helpful to compare your progress with the previous months or weeks, and that will give you a good idea about your resolution graph. So it will help you to know which way you are proceeding, and then you can revisit it if you are not on track. And if you are on track and if your graph is going up, then you can always use it as a further motivator. So keeping a comparison report or a progress report is also a good way to keep check of your resolutions. My next suggestion is to use positive affirmations. We all need some kind of reinforcement. It's important for us that we don't look at our failures so much, but we zoom in into our small victories. And using positive affirmations again encourages us, motivates us to move forward. So you can always, use some post-its and paste it on your mirror or on your almirah or on your work desk, somewhere which is again visible to you. And you can use words like I can do it or I have it in me. But be also sure that you don't fall in the delusion trap, and don't use very extreme statements like I can change myself in a day or I can change the whole world. So statements like these can be avoided, and be realistic with your positive affirmations also. The next suggestion is to celebrate your big and small victories. Again, it's a kind of reinforcement that if you are achieving your target little by little, also 1 week at a time, so you can treat yourself a little bit, and that can again be a kind of an incentive. It can be a reinforcer. So do try to cheer yourself up and treat yourself. And even if, say, you want to lose weight and you are making progress with your resolution, you can still treat yourself with a little brownie. And if you are reading a book and you finish reading a book, say in a week's time as per your plan of action, then also you can treat yourself maybe to another book. So treat yourself in whichever way you like, and be proud of your small achievements, even if it's like 10 pages a day and not the whole chapter. So just celebrate your small successes also. And the last suggestion to implement your resolutions in a successful manner is to have a vision of yourself for the end of the year. So when you started out, you must be having some idea about how you want to change your life, what improvements you want to make, how do you want to live a better life, and so on and so forth. Now have a long-term vision that when 2021 ends, when this year will end, I would like to be so and so and so, or I would like to look in such a manner, or I would like to have achieved so many accomplishments. So you can list it down, you can make a vision board, and it's very important to know again what exactly you have in mind at the end of the year. So that could be your long-term picture, which you can keep in your mind and follow it. And before I wrap up, I'm going to quickly remind you about one book that I talked about in one of my previous videos last year, which was Atomic Habits by James Clear. Do read that book for a lot of encouragement if you are struggling with implementing your goals. And these need not be your New Year resolutions alone. These could be any goals, any targets that you have set out for yourself. So James Clear's book will give you a clear idea about how to inculcate new habits habits and stick to them. It also has lots of action plans. And I would also like to recommend one book by Charles Duhigg, The Power of Habit. In case you have not read that book already, please grab this if you want to really understand how our brain works on habit formation. So he talks about what's a habit, what's the 21-day myth about habit formation. He also talks about the feedback loop, what's a negative feedback, what's a positive feedback loop, and so on and so forth. And he also talks about 3 R's of habit formation: reminder, routine, and reward. So I've tried to cover these points in my suggestions as well, and I hope you will grab these books and follow the suggestions. So those were my suggestions to help you get back to your resolutions or to implement them in a more successful way. And I hope your enthusiasm has not faded. It is just the beginning of the year. Only 1 month has gone by, so you still have 11 months to catch up, and you can do a great job if you try and follow some of these tips and suggestions. And do let me know if it helps you. Do let me know what your resolutions are, what you are struggling with. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. I'll see you in the next one. Thank you and bye.